And the way we're sold this dream is that that's what true freedom and adult maturity is. Like, yeah, being a mature and free adult is tying yourself to one location with an enormous debt for a huge chunk of your life. Hello guys, welcome biggity biggity big to another video. So, in this video, we're gonna be talking about golden shackles once again, or if this is the first video I upload, then this isn't the last time I'm gonna mention this golden shackles concept. But this is today's essay. A few months ago, why do people apologize for burping and farting? Like, those are natural processes, you know. But anyway, a few months ago, an older man came to my shop, my internet cafe, and he told me that he was about to lose his house if he couldn't raise 50,000 rands within 3 weeks. He had already paid his bond for 7 years, with 13 years remaining on that house. But the bank didn't care about that. They only cared that he had been skipping payments for the last 6 months. And the main debt wasn't even related to the house. But these devil worshippers, they always find a way to get you if they really want to. So it made me think about the movie Fight Club, where Tyler Durden talks about how the things we own end up owning us. And that's true for these bonds and loans and these things that we buy on credit, bro. Once you get one, you have to do everything in your power to make sure that you pay it off, or these devil worshipping bankers will mess your life up, bro. Like, you're forced to make sure your job works out, and you're forced to stay in one place. And the way we're sold this dream is that that's what true freedom and adult maturity is. Like, yeah, being a mature and free adult is tying yourself to one location with an enormous debt for a huge chunk of your life. Yeah, that's what really makes you a mature adult. But what happens when you get bored of that car, or you have to move out of that neighborhood quickly? Now you have to stay with it until someone else has the money and the interest to buy it. So how do you really own it when it can be taken away from you for one reason or another? Another thing is, if you are buying a house because it's an appreciating asset, there are far better classes of assets that would appreciate more over the long term, like treasury bonds. Like, if you are someone with a healthy risk appetite, the safe coins, the big coins. If you have bigger coins, if you already have a big lump sum, then we already know that the coins that have pumped the largest so far are likely the ones that will continue to grow into the foreseeable future. Those are far better, far faster growing asset classes than a house that will probably gain like 20,000 rand in value over the course of 20 years. It's just maybe, unless you keep making modifications to it, which are going to cost even more than that. And even if you do end up renting it out, you don't get much more each year than what you would have if you had just been paying the bond for yourself. So I remember in high school, one of my closest friends was this cheese gal from near the high school. It was relatively close to where we stayed. And she once mentioned how the only reason that she still lived there and was attending my school, even though her mother was sufficiently breaded up, was because her mother had been trying and failing to sell their 12-bedroom mansion for the last 8 years. At that time, it had been 8 years. So at the time, when she said that, I didn't understand how this could happen. Like, who would pass up the opportunity to buy a 12-bedroom mansion? And, it wasn't a really bad neighborhood, but like, a house like that is out of place in a neighborhood like that. So now I realize that the reason why she had been struggling to relieve herself of this house was because she still realized all the ways that it was a liability more than an asset. But because she had already increased its value so much, and she had invested so much emotionally, energetically, financially into that house. She wasn't willing to sell it for less than she thought it was worth, even though that might have helped it sell faster. I mean, that was just a prime example of golden shackles. Here is this beautiful house, but you can't even leave it because no one's gonna buy it from you. And if you just leave it, you are taking on a huge loss. What else could you have done with the lump sum that you had to buy that house initially? You probably could have 8 years down the line now had enough to buy the house you really wanted in the place that you really wanted. If you just kept flipping that initial lump sum. So anyway, that's it for this video. This wasn't financial advice. This was just my perspective on the financial decisions that we are encouraged to take as we go throughout our adult years. I understand there's a lot of good intentions and good emotions behind it. Of course, the people giving us this advice only want the best for us. But we need to start thinking more independently because it comes from a different era. And people from a different era are bound to give you advice that is in some way dated. Thematically, or the principles of it might still hold true, but its real world application in like the new generation 20 years later might need you to make some adjustments to their philosophies. Don't just take it raw. Pause. Take it with a grain of salt. That's what I mean. Okay, anyway, that's it for this video. If you got any value out of this, stick around for more insightful takes like this by hitting that subscribe button. And if you're interested in checking out my music or collaborating with me on music, check out the links in the description or my profile, my channel whatever that thing is. Okay, the thing you see when you enter my channel, that's where you'll find all of my info. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.